Hello guys, hope you are doing well. Very happy to see you again. Now, in this lecture, we'll again continue the topic of relative speed. And in the last lecture, we had discussed an example. We stopped at the case where the two objects are moving the same direction, right? So I think we were in on this case when the objects are moving in the same direction. Okay. So the relative speed would be a difference between the two. ठीक है मैंने एक एग्जांपल भी लिया था where let's say these two people are moving in the same direction like वो thief वाला एग्जांपल. Okay. Now इसके कुछ एक दो parts और थे which I said कि you can work it out but let's solve them. So same questions है same where do they at what time do they meet. So at what time do they meet that we have calculated I think. So relative speed is 2 kilometer per hour and 10 hours. This so after 10 hours from the time at which the this person A this person starts person of this starts. So that is 8 a.m. 8 a.m. say 10 hours later. That would be 6 p.m. So the thief sorry ये alignment की है. The thief would be caught at 6 p.m. Okay. Now the next question is would be let me just draw it right distance between the point of meeting from point A. Okay, ठीक है. So again ये तो क्वेश्चन ऐसे बनाए भी जा सकते हैं. ठीक है. So let's say someone asks you कि how much distance did the person who started at 8 a.m. travel. So let's say this इसको मैं कहता हूँ distance traveled by A till the meeting point. So it's very simple. How much time did this person A travel? A travel for what? 10 hours. We just calculated over here. So 10 hours. And इसकी speed क्या है? इसकी speed is the speed of A is 12 kilometer per hour. So 120 kilometer. ठीक है. So that is the thing. And similarly, the other question could be कि what is the distance of the meeting point. अगेन दैट वो तो इसमें आ जाएगा डिस्टेंस ऑफ मीटिंग पॉइंट फ्रॉम द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट बिकॉज यहाँ पे कोई एक स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट नहीं है. तो ठीक है दिस वी कैन कैलकुलेट सिमिलर एग्जांपल्स सिमिलर कॉन्सेप्ट को यूज करके सिमिलर एनालॉजी को यूज करके यू कैन वर्क इट आउट. ठीक है. सो नाउ लेट्स सॉल्व अ कपल ऑफ क्वेश्चंस on using this concept. Yeah. So the first question says, let's have a look at the first question. So this is there are two trains X and Y. They start simultaneously from stations A and B towards each other at speeds of 45 km per hour and 55 km per hour. If the distance between the stations is 300 km, how many hours after how many hours? This is a very straightforward question. Again, you can pause the video. For every question, you can just pause the video and try to solve it yourself. And then look at the solution also. Okay. See if your answer is correct or method is correct. Or in general to know कि कोई दूसरी alternate approach क्या होगी. But then again, try to do it on your own first. ठीक है. Now, for anyone who is solving this question or who is solving this question and someone who has already gone through the concept of trains crossing each other and trains overtaking each other, so उसको confusion हो सकता है because here the length of the train is not given. So in that case, in this case, what you can assume is that this It's negligible. You do have to ignore the length of train. In fact, for the time, for the matter, assume that instead of trains, you can assume to be cars. ठीक है तो थोड़ा ट्रेन के चक्कर में देयर कुड बी सम प्रॉब्लम कि पीपल थिंक कि सर व्हाट वुड बी द क्रॉसिंग ऑफ ट्रेन व्हाट दे उनका लेंथ भी तो कुछ होना चाहिए बट ठीक है इग्नोर द लेंथ इनफैक्ट इग्नोर द ट्रेन जस्ट अज्यूम दैट these are two cars एंड स्टेशन की जगह आप कुछ और मान लीजिए स्टॉपिंग पॉइंट मान लीजिए पॉइंट ए पॉइंट बी यू कैन सॉल्व इट दैट वे ठीक है सो लेट्स ड्रॉ इट फर्स्ट सॉरी so this is point A and this is point B and ये train I will just say train but again you can assume it to be car so train this x starts from here and y starts from here it is going this direction and it is going this is going in this direction and the speed of x is 45 kilometer per hour and speed of y is 55 kilometer per hour okay and the distance between them is 300 kilometers so this distance is 300 kilometers okay. Now we have to find out the after how much time, how many hours will they meet? Okay. Now in this case, what is happening? There, these two objects are moving towards each other. So the relative speed between the two of them, relative speed of A with respect to B or relative speed of B with respect to A would be what? The summation of these two speeds, just as we saw in the first above explanation. जो मैं पहले example लिया था, when objects are moving towards each other. So the relative speed would be let's say s speed of x with respect to y s x y मैं s x y लिख रहा हूँ उसका मतलब है speed of x with respect to y and when I write s y x means speed of y with respect to x now इसको थोड़ा और explanation के through साथ में बता देता हूँ then we'll be using this concept very frequently again I'm just recapping it so any person on this train what will he feel like? The train Y is not moving, whereas the entire universe is moving in this direction, behind, backwards. And when the person sees कि सामने देखता है and he sees the train X is coming and is coming towards Y, he observes the person observes that this train X is coming at a very fast speed, even faster than the universe is going behind. So what is that speed? So what is happening is कि since the universe is going behind at a speed of 55 kilometer per hour, entire universe is going at 55 kilometer per hour behind, and this X train has its own speed of 45 kilometer per hour. So it is getting an additional support by the universe of 55 kilometer per hour. So what will be observed by the passenger on train Y is that this train X is coming towards it at a speed of 45 plus 55 kilometer per hour, which is equals to 100 किलोमीटर पर आवर इस स्पीड से आ रही हो तुम्हें वो ट्रेन आ रही होगी ठीक है नाउ अब when they have to meet what will happen to meet what when I'm saying that कि मैं relative speed यूज कर रहा हूँ तो what I'm saying कि train Y you stop let train X cover the distance okay so वही वाला जो मैंने कॉन्सेप्ट बताया था कि वो वेलोसिटी इसकी इसको दे दो ट्रांसफर कर दो आप you can go to the previous video and watch the video see where I've discussed about it you will get an explanation but I'm just recapping कि when I say कि when I'm asking putting down the speed of x with respect to y, I'm just saying कि to train y, you stop, don't have to walk. Let the entire work be done by train x. So since you are not moving, we will give your speed to train x. So train x is coming towards y at a speed of this, and in order to meet in order for these two trains to meet, the distance between these two trains has to be zero, which right now since they have not met yet, which right now is 300 kilometers. So in order to meet, they have to cover this distance. And at what rate are they covering? They're covering this rate at this distance at 100 kilometer per hour. So the time to meet will be 300 kilometer, which is the distance between them. And at what rate is this? They are covering this distance 100 kilometer per hour. So in 3 hours, 3 hours from the time they start, they will meet. Okay, so the answer is 300 hours. Acha, point of caution. When I say कि train Y you stop and let X train X do the work, this is a hypothetical situation for your easy understanding. I'm saying so, but when I say so, it doesn't mean that the train Y actually stops. Both the trains are continuously moving. It's just that the concept of the tool of relative speed helps us deal with one situation at a time. So we make this train stop and we just deal with train X only. This is how the concept of relative speed helps us make complex problems simple. Otherwise, क्या है कि when you are observing two trains moving and you have to calculate, so it becomes a bit overwhelming कि कैसे होगा, ये भी इधर आ रहा है, ये भी इधर आ रहा है. Simplify it. Let this be stop and observe what the world would look like from the perspective of the person sitting in the stopped train. That makes things simpler, and that is the concept of relative speed. Okay, so don't get confused. This is just for your understanding. Okay. So by that, but when as and when we solve more and more questions, we'll get it to uh, we'll get more clearer understanding of the concept. Okay. So let's move to the next question. So what does it say? A thief is spotted by a policeman from a distance of 200 meters. The thief starts running at 10 kilometer per hour, and the police chases him at 12 kilometer at a rate of 12 kilometer per hour. How far will the thief have run before he is overtaken? Okay. Now again, ये कौन सा concept हो गया when two objects are moving away from each other. ठीक है. So let's draw it. Guys, always make it a habit to draw the question as much as you can. We don't need to be very good painters or very good at drawing, but basic drawing थोड़ा बहुत if you can do, it helps a lot. ठीक है. Okay, थोड़ा बड़ा बना दिया मैंने. Just clear this. Let's say the thief. This is the thief, and this is the policeman. When the policeman observed thief, the distance between them is 200 meters. And immediately he observed the thief starts running. This thief starts running in this direction at a speed of 10 kilometer per hour, and the policeman chases him at 12 kilometer per hour. ठीक है. So इसमें क्या होगा? So obviously ये overtake the police will catch him because he's traveling at a higher speed than the thief. So as they start moving, the distance between them, this 200 meter, will start getting reduced. Okay, because the relative speed is positive in the same direction. And by that I mean cases. By that I mean that अब इसको ऐसे देखिए, मैं फिर से वो रिकैप कर रहा हूँ कि 1 घंटे बाद क्या होगा, ये यहाँ से 10 मीटर एक्स्ट्रा चलेगा, 10 किलोमीटर एक्स्ट्रा चलेगा 1 घंटे में. एंड ये क्या करेगा, ये 12 किलोमीटर एक्स्ट्रा चलेगा. ठीक है. तो इनके बीच का डिस्टेंस क्या हो गया, यहाँ से इस 200 मीटर से ये 12 मीटर चला गया, तो रिमेनिंग 188. एंड दिस 10 मीटर, तो 188 प्लस 10, दिस इज 188, एंड दिस इज 12, एंड दिस इज, जैसे यहाँ पे आता है, तो 10 किलोमीटर. So this is gone. P has reached here, and thief is here. So the distance now will be after 1 hour would be 198 kilometers. ऐसे ही चलता चला जाएगा. ठीक है. So that will happen. So every hour what is happening? The distance between them is reducing by 2 kilometers, and that is evident from their speeds also. Okay. So the relative speed in this case would be a difference between the two speeds. So speed of police with respect to thief is equals to 12 minus 10 kilometer per hour, which is 2 kilometer per hour. And the distance between them is what? 200 meters. Now to meet, for the police and thief to meet, the distance between them should be zero. ठीक है, अब ये जीरो होना है तो 200 meters has to come become zero, and it has to be covered or traveled at a speed of what? Rate of speed of 2 kilometer per hour. So the time of meet would be 200 meters, तो आप देख सकते हैं, we can write it as 0.2 hours, and this is uh, 0.2 hours, not, sorry, my mistake, ये mistake कर दिया मैं, kilometers, and this is 2 kilometer per hour. So this comes out to be 0.1 hours. 0.1 hours पे ये when the police spots and starts chasing the thief, from that point in 0.1 hours they will meet. ठीक है, so यहाँ से 0.1 hour में how much distance will they, how far will the thief have run before he is overtaken? So from this point, इस point से 0.1 hour बाद the thief will be caught. तो कितना travel कर लेगा वो? तो distance traveled by thief is equals to 0.1 hour into the speed at which thief is running, that is 10 kilometer per hour. This gives you 1 kilometer. ठीक है, the thief would have run 1 kilometer before he is overtaken. ओवरटेक करना मतलब बराबर सेम लाइन पे आ जाना, मतलब ओवरटेक करना आपने कभी देखा होगा, हाउ द कार्स और vehicles overtake each other. So vehicle is moving like this direction, suddenly another vehicle comes from the behind, and when it reaches the same level, ये same level है, इस पे जब पहुंच जाता है, we say that they have overtaken each other. ठीक है, so that is what we mean by overtaking. And overtake तो करेगा जब पकड़ेगा एक, when the police will catch thief, it will obviously overtake him. ठीक है, I hope this is clear. If not, please try and watch it again, and if still it's not clear, please uh, give me some comments on the comment section. I'll definitely try to incorporate those comments or feedbacks that you give, and try to make the video even more better and more clear and understanding. Now let's move to the next question. And this says two cars start from the same point at the same time. Car A travels north and car B travels south. ओके, तो इसमें इसका डायग्राम ऐसा बन जाएगा. तो दिस इज द कॉमन पॉइंट, टू कार स्टार्ट, कार ए goes north. और डायग्राम इज नॉट वेरी गुड, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. वो वेट, डायग्राम कुछ ज्यादा ही खराब हो जाए तो क्या है कि इट डजंट फील गुड. ठीक है, नाउ वी हैव टू ट्राई, वी हैव टू मैनेज विद दिस ओनली. So this is north, this is south, and this is the starting point. So car A is moving in this direction, and car B is moving in this direction. The speed of car A is 40 kilometer per hour, and B is 60 kilometer per hour. Okay. And the question that is asked is that what will be the distance between them at after 3.5 hours? अब देखिए, this again we can do it using relative speed also, and without using relative speed also. So first, let's do without using the concept of relative speed. So 3.5 hours में just calculate how far from this point A would have traveled. So A ने कितना किया होगा? Distance traveled by A is 3.5 into speed of A, that is 40. So this gives you 140 kilometers. And for DB, uh, 3.5 into 60, which is 210 kilometers. So distance between them क्या होगा? क्योंकि they are moving in the opposite direction. So distance between them would be the addition of these two. DA plus DB is equals to 210 plus 140 is equals to 350 kilometers. 350 kilometer would be the distance between them. ठीक है. इसके अलावा और क्या कर सकते हैं वो भी देखते हैं. रिलेटिव स्पीड के कॉन्सेप्ट से भी कर सकते हैं. So what we'll do, we'll ask कि भाई we'll ask A that you stop and let only B travel. So we'll have to deal with only B. So the what will happen, since A has stopped, the speed will be transferred to B, and since they're moving in opposite direction, the relative speeds would be adding would be the addition of the two. Okay, so S of B with respect to A is equals to 60 kilometer per hour plus 40 kilometer per hour, which is equals to 100 kilometer per hour. ठीक है. Every hour the distance between them increases by 100 kilometer. So in 3.5 hours, it would be 3.5 into 100, which is 350 kilometers. And that is what we got using the this approach also. ठीक है. ठीक है. चलिए, let's move to the next question. The question is this. Yeah. So it says a motorbike leaves point P at 10 a.m. at the speed of 40 kilometer per hour. A car leaves point P at 12 p.m. at 60 kilometer per hour in the same direction. At what time and at what distance from P will the car overtake the motorbike? Okay, so let's say this is the point P, and this is the path that they travel on, the motorbike and the car. So the motorbike starts at 10 a.m. Okay, so and car starts at 12 p.m. So let's say it is 12 p.m. right. So the car would be here, right? And since motorbike जो पहले 2 घंटे पहले चल चुकी थी 10 at 10 a.m. So it would have a advantage. It would have traveled some distance. It would be ahead of this car. So let's say it is at this point. This is the motor bike. ठीक है. Now what is this distance? We can calculate this. Data दे रखा है. So this distance was traveled by motorbike at a speed of 40 kilometer per hour for 2 hours because 10 a.m. की पे चला था वो, and अभी 12 p.m. हो रहा, so 2 hours. So this distance is 40 into 2, 80. Just a second. Some lag. ठीक है. Now they are asking us कि at what time and at what distance from P will the car overtake the motor. ठीक है. Now the relative speed of car is what? 60 kilometer, and relative speed of motorbike is 40 kilometer. So relative speed of car with respect to motorbike is कॉमा आना चाहिए आइडियली. मैंने पिछले क्वेश्चन पर डाला नहीं. दिस कॉमा शुड कम. So this would be 60 minus 40 kilometer per hour. So this is 20 kilometer per hour. Okay. And how much distance do they have to cover to meet in order to overtake? In order for the car to overtake the motorbike, the distance between them should be zero, but which is right now it is 80 kilometer. So the time to meet or T overtake is equals to 80 kilometer by 20 kilometer per hour, which is 4 hours. So this is after. What time will they meet? 4 hours from 12 p.m. So they'll meet at 4 p.m. ठीक है. Then at what distance from P? कितना P ने कितना कितने डिस्टेंस पे कवर होगा ये ओवरटेक करेंगे. Let's say they overtake at this point. ठीक है. And what is this distance? This is the distance traveled by car in the 4 hours. ठीक है. इन 4 hours में जो डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया होगा कार ने, वही ये डिस्टेंस है जो कि वो ओवरटेक करते हुए कवर कर लेगी. सो द डिस्टेंस वुड बी कार की स्पीड. व्हाट इज द स्पीड ऑफ कार? 60 किलोमीटर पर आवर into 4 hours. So this comes out to be 240 kilometer per hour. Oh, sorry, kilometers only. Why I am writing this? ठीक है, 240 kilometer only because this is the distance. चलिए, let's move further. Okay, let's discuss this question. Uh, चलो ठीक है. Let's fine. चलिए, this is there's a concept also for this particular question. I would like to explain that first. So let's understand the concept first. I will take you back a bit. Sorry for digressing it, but the concept एकदम से आ गया तो I had to discuss it. तो यहाँ पे कर लेते हैं. ठीक है. अभी इसमें क्या है कि लेट्स से ये है पॉइंट, एक ट्रैक, ये एक विलेज है ए, या एक विलेज को मानिए, सॉरी, एम, एम विलेज एंड दिस इज एन विलेज. यहाँ से ए एन की तरफ जाता है, and from here B goes from N to M, and their respective speeds are A meter per second. Assume that the distance is also in meters. Okay, D meters का distance है, and B travels at a speed of B meter per second. Okay. Now let's say after some time they meet at point here, which is O, and it said that if from here, hmm, from here, B takes T1 time to reach A, and from here A takes T2 time to reach B. Okay. Now this is the particular relation that might come one day. Now let's see what we can. How do we go about this case? This case, and let T be this as a be the time of meeting. Wait, it's a lag. This come. दिस इज द टाइम ऑफ मीटिंग. नाउ पहले तो ये देखते हैं कि व्हाट इज द टाइम ऑफ मीटिंग. लेट्स से दिस इज टी. आई एम डिवाइडेड बाय टी. सो टी इज इक्वल टू व्हाट? D, which is the distance between the two villages, upon A plus B, because they are moving opposite to E, in the opposite direction. So this is the time. ठीक है. ओके. नाउ ठीक है, ये तो हो गया टाइम. अब इस इन दोनों जो T1 T2 दे रखा है, इससे भी एक रिलेशन निकलेगा. नाउ सी, इस डिस्टेंस को, द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन पॉइंट O एंड पॉइंट N, this distance was traveled by A in T2 time. So I can equate this distance. I can write the value of this distance can be written as T2 into A, because A traveled in T2 time. And similarly, this distance was also traveled by B in time T, which is the time taken to meet first. Okay. So I can write this as, okay. Similarly, I can use the relation for T1. So T1 was the time taken by B to travel the distance from O to M. So T1 into B is equals to uh, A. This distance was also traveled by A in time T, which is the time of meeting this thing. Okay. Now, if you see what do we get from each of the equations, from here we get A by B is equals to T by T2, and from here we get A by B is equals to T1 by T. ठीक है. अब यहाँ से what इन दोनों को यूज करके what we can find use it we can do is, if I want to find out sorry, T1 by T2, then this will come out to be this one. T1 will be uh, AT by B upon T2 is what? BT by A. So this comes out to be A square by B square. T1 by T2 is equals to A1 A square by B square. ठीक है. And also इन दोनों से एक और रिलेशन निकलता है, which is T1 by T is equals to T by T2. So this implies T1 into T2 is equals to T square. इसको मैं यहाँ पे भी लिख देता हूँ. ठीक है. तो ये कैसे, इससे दो तीन चीजें सीखने को मिलती है. एक तो ये रिजल्ट को, इफ यू इस तरह की सिचुएशन आती है तो अप्लाई दिस रिजल्ट. तो दिस इज फर्स्ट वन. The other is कि how did we arrive at these results? So how did we observe what things we did, the equations that the relations that we formed. This is very important. ठीक है. This will come in handy in lot of questions also. कहीं पे help मिलेगी किसी छोटे से intermediate part में. You might find it very helpful thinking in this way. ठीक है. So keep that in mind. You can try it working out for your own self or for your own also. And now moving to the question. Yeah. So it says two people, Ritu and Amit, start from cities M and N. So this is the city M and this is city N. ठीक है. एंड यहाँ से स्टार्ट करती है ऋतु, एंड यहाँ से स्टार्ट करता है अमित. Okay. And they start simultaneously and travel towards each other, and they meet at a point between the cities and then reach their destination. So let's say they meet at this point, which is O, and reach their destination in 16 minutes. So it means that after reaching this point, Ritu takes 16 minutes to travel to reach to N, 16 minutes, and whereas this Amit takes 25 minutes to reach M. एंड ऋतु की स्पीड दे रखी 50 किलोमीटर पर आवर एंड अमित की स्पीड आपको बतानी है. So again, directly applying the result that we observed, we got just now. So this will be speed of मैं ऋतु की स्पीड को R बोल देता हूँ और अमित की स्पीड को A बोल देता हूँ. So R by A का स्क्वायर इज इक्वल्स टू 16/25. So see, यहाँ पे यूनिट सेम होने चाहिए. ये मैं आर आई कुड हैव टेकन them in hours also. It would have made sense. But both of them should be in the same units. ऐसा नहीं, it should not happen that I'm taking the one in hours and one in minutes. They both of them should be in the same units. Okay. So this is the result that we get. Okay. Now from this we can say that ratio of the speed is 4/5. And now here we know that the speed of Ritu is 8 minute. Am I doing some mistake? Wait, let me just check. Ulta ratio. Sorry. It's the inverse ratio. So the ratio should be, I'm sorry, I have to just scroll again and again. I'm so sorry for this. This should be 25/16. So the ratio would be 5/4. Inverse of the term. The ratio, the R का speed by A का speed है, तो time taken by A to reach the destination upon time taken by R to reach the destination after the meeting point. ऐसा लिखना है, ऐसा होना चाहिए. So this is the ratio. And you know R is 50. So putting in the value 50 by A is equals to 5/4. From here you get A speed or speed of Amit is equals to 40 किलोमीटर पर आवर. ठीक है, चलिए लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. Okay. So the question says two cyclists travel from different locations. If they travel towards each other, they meet in 2 hours. And if they travel in the same direction, the faster one overtakes the slower one in 10 hours. The slowest cyclist की speed 12 किलोमीटर पर आवर है. You have to find the speed of faster cyclist. ठीक है. So let's draw. Let's say these are the 2 points from where they start. ठीक है. Let the faster one be F, slower one be S. Now, if they move towards each other, so they'll meet somewhere in between the F and S here. And what is said about them in this situation? About this situation, let the speed of fast be X and let the speed of slower be Y. ठीक है, which is given. Y की वैल्यू दे रखी है आपको, which is 12. ठीक है. And yeah, ठीक है. The distance. So let the distance between these 2 points be D. So when they are traveling opposite direction in this way, so उसके बारे में what can we write? So we can say that time to meet in this case, which is equals to 2 hours, is equals to D upon X plus 12, because since they're moving towards each other or I would say in opposite direction, the speed should add. ठीक है? This is added. This is one relation that we have got. Now the other part is when they are moving in same direction, which means F is moving in this direction and S is also moving in this direction. So in that case, what will happen? They meet after they meet after 10 hours. So for this, I can write T meet is equals to 10 is equals to D. So again, I am using D here because when they meet, the distance between the two of them should be zero. So in order for that distance to be zero, someone has to cover the entire distance D, and the that distance will be covered at the relative speed. The relative speed would be x minus 12. ऑब्वियसली x will overtake s, वो तो इस तरफ ही भागेंगे, तो s की स्पीड अगर ज्यादा हुई x से तो कभी पकड़ ही नहीं पाएगा x उसको, x मतलब कि f उसको f s को नहीं पकड़ पाएगा. So this is the way. Up, how do you calculate these two? How do you calculate the value of x? So simple. Again, substitute d. D is common. D is what? 10 into x minus 12 from here, and d is what? Is equals to 2 times x plus 12 from here. Equate them. So 2 times x plus 12 is equals to 10 times x minus 12. So 2x plus 24 is equals to 10x minus 120. So this becomes 120. 120 comes to this side, towards the left side, plus 24 is equals to 10x minus 2x. This becomes 144, and this becomes 8x. So the value of x is 144 by 8, which is 18 kilometer per hour. ठीक है? In this case, we have used, इसमें दो में ही concept use हो जाते हैं कि when objects are moving towards each other and when objects are moving in the same direction. So first case is when objects are moving in opposite direction. The second is कि the objects are moving in the same direction. ठीक है? चलिए, let's move forward. Okay, this is slightly tricky, but once you clear, if you understand the problem, it becomes very easy. There's nothing much, but थोड़ा सा detail दे रखा है एक बड़ा वाला to confuse everyone. So it says two friends X and Y are 15 kilometers apart and walking towards each other at 2 kilometers per hour and 3 kilometers per hour. Okay, let's draw this first. So let this be one point and this be the another point. Let this be A and this be B. So X starts in this direction, Y starts in this direction. Speed of X is 2 kilometer per hour and speed of Y is 3 kilometer per hour, and the distance between the two is 15 kilometers. Okay. Now a bird starts from X is shoulder. इसके shoulder पे एक bird बैठी है, तो वो यहाँ से उड़ के it goes and starts flying towards Y, uh, towards Y, and then comes back and forth ऐसे करती रहती है. The speed at which the bird travels is 15 kilometer per hour. अब ये क्या है कि when you read this part ना, a lot of students get confused कि सर how many times ऐसे हम निकालते रहे, कितना डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया किसने, ये तो बहुत, हाउ डू वी कीप अ ट्रैक ऑफ इट. इसको इमेजिन करना ही बहुत मुश्किल है कि बर्ड कम्स यहाँ से उधर जा रही है, फिर यहाँ से इधर आएगी, फिर यहाँ से छोटा सा डिस्टेंस, फिर और डिस्टेंस, छोटा ऐसे इस तरह का ट्रेजेक्टरी बनेगा तो कितना चलता चला जाएगा. हाउ विल बी एबल टू कैलकुलेट दिस. तो don't think in this direction. This is true, but you don't have to think in this direction, this perspective. Change the thought of direction, line of thought. So what you need to find out कि just you have to find out कि कितना time bird flies, how long does a bird fly. That is what you need to find, because उसका speed आपको पता है. And just if you are able to find out that the duration of the bird's flight, means for how long does it just go back and forth, uh, then your job is done. You can find out the distance. So and this duration can you find out, वो कब तक ऐसे करती है, बैक एंड फोर्थ कब तक करता है वर्ड, जब तक ये एक्स और वाई मीट नहीं कर देते. So what is the meeting time? What is this is what very simple. 15 kilometers is the distance. They both are traveling towards each other, means the speed should add. The rate of speed should add. So 2 plus 3. So this is what 15 by 5. This is 3 hours. So for 3 hours, the bird goes from here to here to here, like this, like this. It fizzles, goes back and forth. You know the speed of bird, 15 kilometer per hour. अभी दे रहे हैं. So 15 into 3, distance traveled by bird is equals to 3 into 15 is equals to 45 kilometers. Simple. ठीक है. Don't just get bogged down by the complexity of the question. Just try and understand. There would be a different perspective which will help you uh, think in a way which is easier. ठीक है. Sometimes it's not there, then you have to break down the question into smaller parts and then solve it and get around with it. But ठीक है, दोनों approaches काम करती हैं. Sometimes when you can use this kind of thinking, that's better. ठीक है. चलिए, let's move forward. Uh, I'm going to question 8. What does it say? City A and B are 450 kilometers apart. Okay. Bus 1 leaves A for B at 8 a.m. Bus 2 leaves B for A at 9 a.m. Our times are different. The bus 1 travels the first half of the distance at 45 kilometers per hour. The second half at 75 kilometers per hour. The bus 2 travels at a constant speed of 60 kilometers per hour. At what time do they cross each other? Okay. चलिए, let's see. ये बना लिया हमने सिटी ए, सिटी बी. 1 यहाँ से ट्रेवल कर रहा है एंड 2 यहाँ से ट्रेवल कर रहा है. फिर ये बस ये 1 यहाँ से, एक 1 is traveling from A to B, 2 is traveling from B to A, and 2 is traveling at a constant speed of 60 kilometer per hour, and it starts at 9 a.m. whereas bus A starts at 8 a.m. Okay, and it travels first half of the distance. उनके बीच का distance है 450 kilometers. So this is the midpoint. So this is the first half. This distance is being traveled at speed of 45 kilometers per hour. And this distance is supposed to be traveled by A at 75 kilometers per hour. Okay. So this is how it works. This is what the question says. Now, at what time do they cross each other? Okay, first let's understand कि the complexity here is कि at what speed would A be traveling when they meet each other. ठीक है. So पहले तो ये देखते हैं कि how much time does A take to cover this part, this half of the distance. So this will be covered by A in 450 का आधा होता है 225, 225 by 45. So it will take 5 hours for A to cover this first half. And in 5 hours, where will B be? B 5 hours में 60 into 5, 300 kilometers cover कर चुका हूँ, which is beyond this point. यहाँ पे कहीं पे आ गया. ठीक है, और ये यहाँ होगा. तो डेफिनेटली ए जब ए और बी जब मीट करेंगे तो ए वुड बी ट्रेवलिंग एट दिस स्पीड ओनली. ठीक है. नाउ यू नीड टू फाइंड आउट कि कहाँ पे ये मीटिंग हो सकता है. ठीक है, तो इसको ऐसे देखिए. So let this happen. Let the meeting point be here, somewhere here. यहीं पे कहीं पे होगा. Mid से पहले ही होगा. So let's say they meet at uh, wait. अच्छा ये 8 AM पे भी चल रहा है तो उसका भी we have to incorporate that also. Uh, okay, so ये 300 किलोमीटर नहीं होगा. My bad. Because 1 घंटे का advantage already A को है. So so at 9 AM A would have traveled 45 kilometers extra by 9 AM. ठीक है. So from here टू हियर तो इसको ये डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल करने में इसको 4 आवर्स लगेंगे. मतलब ये वाला डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल करने में 4 आवर्स लगेंगे. बिकॉज एक घंटा तो ऑलरेडी उसने ले ही लिया है यहाँ पे. एंड इन 4 आवर्स फ्रॉम हियर द बी वुड हैव ट्रेवल्ड 240 किलोमीटर. ठीक है. एंड 240 मीन्स ये दिस डिस्टेंस इज 225 एंड 240 इज हियर. तो डेफिनेटली अगेन सेम थिंग. तो दिस इज बियॉन्ड दिस पार्ट ओनली. तो तो ए वुड बी ट्रेवलिंग एट 45 किलोमीटर पर आवर ओनली. क्योंकि ए का स्पीड चेंज होगा इस पॉइंट के बाद. तो बट मीटिंग तो इस पॉइंट से पहले ही हो जाएगा. बिकॉज 4 घंटे में जब ए यहाँ आता तो बी वुड हैव ऑलरेडी बीन हियर. ठीक है. तो मीटिंग वुड बी बियॉन्ड दिस पॉइंट ओनली. मतलब ऐसा कुछ होगा कि ए वॉज समवेयर क्लोज हियर एंड बाय द टाइम बी ऑल्सो रीच हियर. ठीक है. एंड वी नीड टू फाइंड आउट दैट टाइम. So let's say that time be t. ठीक है. And t from where t hours after both of them start was t hours after 9 a.m. ठीक है. So t hours after 9 a.m. So how much distance would a have covered by then? So a ने पहले तो 45 ये कर ही लिया है. तो 45 तो यहाँ कर लिया. 8 में से 9 पे 45 कर लिया. एंड फॉर द रिमेनिंग टाइम टी आवर्स की जो एक्स्ट्रा टी आवर्स है उसमें कितना ट्रेवल करोगे? 45 टी. ठीक है. एंड हाउ मच वुड हैव बी ट्रेवल्ड? बी वुड हैव ट्रेवल्ड plus 60 into t. And this whole portion, sum of this whole thing would be 450 kilometers. So this will be what? 105 t is equals to 405. T is what? 405 by 105. This is 15 7 15 57. I'm doing the right thing, right? Correct. So this will be 27 by 7 hours after. So this is what? How much is this? 3 6 by 7 hours. So after 3 6 by 7 hours after 9 a.m. So this means 9 plus 3 plus 6 by 7. 6 by 7 means 6 by 7 hours means how many minutes? 6 by 7 into 60. It is 360 by 7. It is 51 minutes. 51 minutes and 84 seconds. 51.84 seconds. So the time would be 12:51, 12 hour 12:51.84. You can say 12:52, somewhere close to 12:52. And this will be PM. At this time they will cross each other. ठीक है. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. एक बार इसको फिर से देखिएगा. खुद से ट्राई करके सॉल्व करने का ट्राई कीजिएगा. इट्स वेरी सिंपल. जस्ट ड्रॉ करेंगे तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. You can again rewind the video and watch it again. Then moving on. Three runners A, B, C are on the street track. B is 50 meters behind A and C is 150 meters behind A. This is the track. A is somewhere here. B is 50 meters behind A. Let's say B is here. And C is 150 meters behind A. So this is 50 and C is here. So this is 100. A speed is the speed of A is 5 meter per second. B is 8 meter per second. Okay. And what they've asked is at what speed must C run so that all three runners meet at the same moment. So for all three, since they are traveling the same direction, they want कि किसी एक point पे एक साथ मिल जाए. Suppose let's say this is the end point and they meet at this point. ठीक है, they want to meet it. Suppose let's say they meet at this point. ठीक है. So how do we go about it? पहले तो हमें इस point के बारे में डिटेल निकालनी होगी. वो where is this point? Now for this all of them to meet at this point, they have to be present at the same point at the same time. तो इसका मतलब उस केस में बी भी ए को ओवरटेक कर लेगा. बी ए को ओवरटेक कर लेगा मतलब वो कहाँ कर पाएगा वो देखते हैं हम. उनके बीच का हमें उनके बारे में वी हैव नो दिस इंफॉर्मेशन. द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन देम इज 50 मीटर. तो टी वेयर बी मीट्स ए is distance between them is 50 meters and the relative speed का कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करेंगे तो the relative speed is 8 minus 5 which is 50 by 3 hour 50 by 3 sorry seconds meters में है ना. Yes, so 50 by 3 seconds it would be seconds. And in this much time how what distance would what is the distance that A would have traveled or for that matter B would have traveled. So this distance would be uh, let's say this distance would be 50 by 3 into 5 which is 250 by 3 meters. So this is the point at which A and B will meet here. Now for all three of them to meet at this point, C has to cover 100 plus 150, 100 plus 150 and this distance. And in how much time? They have to be together at the same time. ठीक है. So जब B और जितने टाइम में B और A मिलते हैं, the time in which at which during which B and A meet or B overtakes A, that is that window or the time window that C has to cover the entire distance and meet at this point. क्योंकि तभी वो तीनों एक साथ एक जगह पे मिल पाएंगे. अदरवाइज तो फिर वो और कहीं मिल भी नहीं पाएंगे. एक बार क्रॉस कर लिया बी ने ए को, इट विल नॉट बी एबल टू क्रॉस इट अगेन ना. वो तो बी तो विल मूव फॉरवर्ड एंड ए विल रिमेन बिहाइंड एंड सी अगेन विल मूव फॉरवर्ड. वो तो बहुत ही आगे चला जाएगा. ठीक है. So for all of them to meet, if B and A are meeting over here and C to join them, C has to cover this distance, and this distance within this much time. So how much is this distance? So C has to cover 100 plus 50 plus 250 by 3 in 50 by 3 seconds. So which is 100 into 3 by 50 plus 50 into 3 by 50 plus 250 by 3 upon 50 by 3. This is cancel by 5s are, this cancels out 3, cancels out 2. This is 6 plus 3 plus 5, which is 14 meter per second. This is the speed at which C should travel in order to meet A and B at this point. ठीक है. चलिए moving on. This is a previous year cat question. Chali, let's read the question. It says two cars start from the same point 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. to reach a common destination. Okay. Both reach at the same time. Now, what is it is saying that they both start from the same point, but at different times. And it so happens that they meet, draw करके बता देता हूँ. Let's say this is the destination. ठीक है. This is the start. So from here, one car leaves at 9 a.m. वो यहाँ पे कहीं पहुंची होगी. So this is car one. And the other car starts at 10:30. This is 9 a.m. This is 10:30. And it so happens that they reach this point at the same time, simultaneously, despite this gap. So definitely this car must be traveling faster than this car, because despite having the car one having a head start मतलब कि extra distance, वो जल्दी चला था कार वन. तो उसके बावजूद वो दे मीट एट द सेम पॉइंट, meet the point and point simultaneously. Okay. Now, what further it says, both reach at the same time. If the first car traveled for at least 4.5 hours, they said that ki car one travels, time of travel of car one is greater than at least 4.5 hours. Find the maximum possible percentage by which speed of second car exceeds the first. So let's say speed of first car, this speed of this be S2 and let this be S1. Okay. So let's see what relation we can write down. What would this distance be? This is the distance traveled by car 1 in 1.5 hours, 9 say 10:30 में, at speed S1. So I can write this distance as 1.5 S1. Now, since they are meeting over here, so we can use the concept of relative speed. What is that? Since they are moving in the same direction, and in order to for S1 to overtake or meet S1, the distance between the two of them should be zero, which right now is 1.5 S1. So for this to happen, to the meeting to happen, or the meeting of them at this endpoint to happen, they have to cover this distance. And at what speed? At a relative speed. What is that relative speed? S2 comma 1, which is S2 minus S1. Now I can write this as 1.5 S1 by S2 minus S1. ठीक है. अच्छा. uh, this is the time at which they overtake. Okay. Now, using this condition, if you look at this, what it is trying to say is this car one has traveled for at least 4.5 hours. So from starting point, from 9 a.m. it has traveled for at least 4.5 hours. उसमें से 10:30 तक तो 1.5 hours already चल चुका था कार वन. So the chase get time. I'm using this chase when it's after 10:30. So I'm saying that to be chase is when they are both moving to when they are both moving. I'm saying that phase of this entire question as chase phase. चेज कर रहा है. अब ऐसा कह सकते हैं कि टू इज चेजिंग वन. तो वैसा in the chase phase, how much the least that the car one would have traveled is 3 hours, because 4.5 से ज्यादा है ही, उसमें से 1.5 घंटा तो वो पहले कर चुका है. तो बचा तो रिमेनिंग टाइम इट हैज टू बी ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 3 आवर्स, उससे कम तो नहीं होगा. ठीक है. So अब now see what the question is asking. What is the maximum possible percentage by which speed of second car exceeds the first car? So I want the value of S2 or minus S1 to be maximum. Now this to be maximum, अगर ये maximum होता है तो this has to be minimum. या मैं ऐसे कहूँगा, अगर इसको मिनिमाइज करना है मेरे को, ये कब हो सकता है, जब डिनोमिनेटर जितना बड़ा होता हो सकता है उतना हो जाए। एंड वैसे होता है, अगर ये डिनोमिनेटर बहुत बड़ा है, then this has to be the minimum, and the minimum value is 3 hours, बिकॉज ये वही टाइम है, चेज वाला ही टाइम है ये इस समय, इस दौरान दोनों कार्स, कार वन एंड कार टू बोथ आर मूविंग। उससे पहले ओनली कार वन वुड बी मूविंग, so this is equals to 3. So I can write this as, we'll simplify the equation. This 1.5 goes down, s1 upon s2 minus s1 is equals to 3 by 1.5 is equals to 2. 1.5 into this ऐसे cancel हो जाता है. So this can be further simplified as s1 equals to 2s2 minus 2s1. So 3 s1 is equals to 2s2. So s2 is equals to 3 by 2 s1. This is the relation that we. अभी क्या है इसका मीनिंग क्या है? I can say s2 is equals to 1.5 times of s1. When s2 is 1.5 times of s1, I can safely say that s2 is greater, s2 exceeds s1 by 50% straight away. ठीक है? I hope this is clear. So this is the end of the session. I hope you learned something. You were able to grasp the concept. And I would suggest कि I will share the this DPP also, so you can just download it and try to solve it on your own. Okay. The some of the questions in this sheet would be from the past year CAT questions, and some are questions which I have developed, or I have used AI to develop the questions. Okay. So please download the sheet and solve it on your own, revise it, and let me know in the comment section what else I can do to make the subsequent videos better. ठीक है, ठीक है. For and keep uh, coming to the lectures and watch the lectures, and that would make me feel happy if I could help you in your journey. ठीक है. So see you in the next lecture. ठीक है. चलिए. Bye. All the best.